My name is Esther, and today we finish our story.
That's right. Our story is called Finn McCool. If you remember from yesterday, Finn McCool is a giant. He is a giant who wants to fight another giant.
Now, Finn is from Ireland, but the other giant's name, his name is Benadonner. He is from Scotland, so they live in two different countries.
That's right. The two giants built a walkway between the two countries through the ocean, and now they are getting ready to fight. But Finn learned something about the other giant. We'll see how this story ends, but first let's go to our Find It question. Our Find It question is, what did Finn's wife make for him?
What did Finn's wife make for him? Listen carefully to find the answer. Now let's go to Sonia for today's keywords.
Finn 跑回家后告诉他太太有关 Benadonner 的事。He told his wife about Benadonner. 名词 wife 就是太太、妻子。为了要救自己的丈夫，他太太就把 Finn 装扮好，假装成一个婴儿躺在一个大摇篮里。He pretended to be a baby. 动词 pretend 就是假装。第二天早上，果然听到有人大声地敲门。Someone knocked loudly on the door. 动词 knock 就是反复的敲。Benadonner 果然来了，他进到客厅，看到了一个巨大无比的婴儿躺在摇篮里。He entered the living room. 名词 living room 就是客厅。他心里想，如果连 Finn 的宝宝都这么巨大，那他本人该有多威猛啊！ Benadonner 害怕了。He got scared. 形容词 scared 就是害怕的、恐惧的。所以 Benadonner 就吓得逃回苏格兰去了。
When Finn got back to Ireland, he told his wife about Benadonner.
He is enormous. He might beat me if I fight him.
If you don't go to Scotland, Benadonner will come here,
worried his wife.
What can we do?
Asked Finn. Finn's wife thought of a plan to save her husband. Using bed sheets, she made some giant baby clothes. She gave them to Finn to put on. They had a large cradle in their house. She made him get into it and pretend to be a baby.
Okay, we learned that Finn got back home and he told his wife about the other giant. Now, there is a husband and a wife together. We call that a marriage. And your wife is very important. So Finn goes to talk to his wife. What does he say?
He says, he might beat me if I fight him. This is the giant. And the wife says, if you don't go to Scotland, Benadonner will come here. So they need to think of what they can do, what they should do now.
That's right. So Finn's wife thought of a plan to save her husband. Okay, I think we just found the answer to our Find It question.
Our question was, what did Finn's wife make for him?
That's right. And we found the answer. She made him some giant baby clothes. Wow, what's going to happen? How did she make the baby clothes? Well, using bed sheets, she made some giant baby clothes.
Bed sheets are pieces of cloth people put on their bed to lie on. So she used these to make clothes for a baby, but not any baby, for a giant baby.
That's right. And she gave them to Finn to put on. So this sentence, she gave to do something, is really helpful. Let's go to Sonia to teach us more.
Finn 的妻子想出一个救她丈夫的计划，她用床单做了一些巨大的婴儿服，然后给 Finn 穿上。She gave them to Finn to put on. 本句句尾不定词 to put on， 修饰前面给的东西 them。我们来看例句。She gave a book to him to read. 她给他一本书读，或是 She gave the snacks to them to eat. 她给他们一些点心吃。
Thank you, Sonia. So Finn gets into a cradle. A cradle is a place for a baby to sleep, and he pretends to be a baby. If you pretend something, it means you're not really that thing. You're just faking. You're pretending. Well, friends, it's time for part 2.
The next morning, someone knocked loudly on the door. Finn's wife answered the door. There stood the angry giant Bienendoner. He pushed his way into the house, shouting,
Where is Finn? I'm going to beat him.
When he entered the living room and saw the cradle, he went to look in it. As he looked at the baby in the cradle, Bienendoner's eyes got big. The baby in the cradle was enormous.
Okay, the next morning, Bienendoner arrives. What does he do?
Well, he knocks on their door. When you take your hand or something hard and you hit it against a window or a door, we call this action knocking.
That's right. Two things can also knock together if they bump each other and make a noise. So who's knocking?
Bienendoner, the giant, not only knocked, he pushed his way into the house, shouting, Where is Finn? I'm going to beat him.
Uh-oh, scary. So he pushes his way into the living room. The living room is the main room of a house. It's where people sit and sometimes rest. And then he goes to look into that cradle and sees a giant baby. What's going to happen?
Well, Bienendoner's eyes got big because this baby was enormous. Remember yesterday we talked about this word enormous? It means very, very big. How does he feel?
Well, it says his eyes got big. This is an English idiom. If you say, my eyes got big, well, it means you open your eyes and look at something, but it also means that you feel surprised. Wow, my eyes got big when I saw the new car, you could say.
Right. This giant was shocked. He didn't think that Finn's baby, he thought it was Finn's baby, would be this huge.
So what will Bienendoner do? We'll go to our break. Don't go anywhere. We'll finish the story of Finn McCool right after this.
Let's talk in English. Every day, that's the way.
Okay, Finn McCool has decided that he is going to play a trick on Bienendoner. He dresses up as a baby, but when Bienendoner arrives, what will happen? We're going to learn in part 3 of our story. That was pretty funny how he dressed as a baby, huh?
That's right. That's smart. Bienendoner's eyes got big. He is shocked and surprised. Now let's go to the next part of today's story.
Bienendoner thought to himself,
If this is the son of Finn McCool, Finn McCool must be even more enormous.
Bienendoner got scared.
德国利加龙，
起床就累，工作一堆，半夜 play。
恶性循环，好伤肝。德国利加龙护肝好简单，植物萃取专利制成，医疗级护肝3效，改善脂肪肝，肝指数正常化，护肝好简单。 德国利嘉龙护肝一条龙
Beatrice 灰指
He could not beat such an enormous giant. He left the house and ran back to Scotland. On his way, he destroyed the walkway. He didn't want Finn to come after him. After Bean and Donner left, Finn and his wife laughed and laughed about tricking the giant.
Okay, Ben and Donner thought to himself, if this is the son of Finn McCool must be even more enormous. Now, if I say, I thought to myself, it just means I'm thinking. I'm not saying it out loud. It's just happening to myself in my head.
Right, because this is a story, we want to know what the characters are thinking, so we know how they feel as well. Well, Ben and Donner got scared. If you're scared, you're afraid. Why is he scared? Because this giant's baby, he thought this was Finn McCool's baby, was enormous.
That's right, and he thought he could not beat such an enormous giant. If you cannot do something, well, let's learn more from Sonia how to use that.
Ben Donner 感到害怕，他是打不过如此威猛巨大的巨人。He could not beat such an enormous giant. 限定词 such 放在名词片语前，表达这么的、这样的，有加重语气、强调甚至惊叹的效果。我们来看例句。They could not eat such a large meal. 他们吃不了分量这么大的餐点。或是 She will not believe such an amazing story. 她不会相信这么令人惊叹的故事。再练习一句 We cannot buy such an expensive car. 我们不能买这么昂贵的车。
Thank you, Sonia. Okay, what does Ben and Donner do? Well, he gets scared. He left the house and ran back to Scotland. Now remember, there was a walkway, like a bridge, that they had made.
Right, it connected Ireland and Scotland. But when he walked on this walkway, he destroyed it. If you destroy it, it means you put an end to something. You make it stop. So basically, he broke this walkway.
Yeah, he broke the walkway because he didn't want Finn to come after him. Now, you can say something came after me if it is chasing you. You could say, the dog came after me when I got close to its toy. Now, he did not want Finn to come after him, and because they had tricked him, Finn's wife and Finn laughed and laughed. And friends, we laughed and laughed is today's calendar phrase.
We laughed and laughed.
We laughed and laughed. 我们笑个不停。
Was the show funny?
Yes, we laughed and laughed.
Were the clowns funny?
Yes, we laughed and laughed.
Were the jokes funny?
Yes, we laughed and laughed.
What was the best part?
Laughing and laughing.
We laughed and laughed.
We laughed and laughed. 我们笑个不停。
That was a fun calendar phrase. Now it's time for us to review today's keywords.
Here are your keywords for today. Wife. Wife. His wife's name is Patty.
Pretend. Pretend. She pretended to be asleep.
Knock. Knock. Please knock on the door.
Living room. living room. Let's sit and talk in the living room.
Scared. Scared. She is scared of mice. Well, friends, those are your keywords for today. Keep practicing. And now it's
your turn.
Today's keywords are wife, pretending, knocking, living room, and scared. Now it's your turn to use them in a sentence. First one. Jack is watching TV in the... That's correct. Jack is watching TV in the living room. Next. Someone is on the wall. Good job. Someone is knocking on the wall. Next. Steve and his live in Taichung. You're right. Steve and his wife live in Taichung. Next. The cat ran under the table. Correct. The scared cat ran under the table. Last one. The child is to be a lion. You got it. The child is pretending to be a lion. That's all for today. Come again next time for your turn.
When Finn got back to Ireland, he told his wife about Bienendaner.
He is enormous. He might beat me if I fight him.
If you don't go to Scotland, Bienendaner will come here,
worried his wife.
What can we do?
Asked Finn. Finn's wife thought of a plan to save her husband. Using bed sheets, she made some giant baby clothes. She gave them to Finn to put on. They had a large cradle in their house. She made him get into it and pretend to be a baby. The next morning, someone knocked loudly on the door. Finn's wife answered the door. There stood the angry giant Bienendaner. He pushed his way into the house, shouting,
Where is Finn? I'm going to beat him.
When he entered the living room and saw the cradle, he went to look in it. As he looked at the baby in the cradle, Bienendaner's eyes got big. The baby in the cradle was enormous. Bienendaner thought to himself,
If this is the son of Finn McCool, Finn McCool must be even more enormous.
Bienendaner got scared. He could not beat such an enormous giant. He left the house and ran back to Scotland. On his way, he destroyed the walkway. He didn't want Finn to come after him. After Bienendaner left, Finn and his wife laughed and laughed about tricking the giant.
So, James, did Finn run back to Ireland?
Yes, but he realized the enormous giant might come after him.
Oh, no!
But Finn's wife had a plan.
Really? What plan?
She made big baby clothes for Finn.
Big baby clothes? That's so silly!
Yes. Finn put them on and got into a large cradle.
And pretended to be a baby?
Yes, a very big baby. The next morning, there was a knock on the door.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
The enormous giant. He pushed his way inside and looked into the cradle.
And saw a big baby?
Right. He thought, if this is Finn's baby, Finn is even bigger.
Was he scared? Did he run away?
Yes, he ran back to Scotland. He destroyed the walkway as he ran.
Hey, that's funny.
I know. Finn and his wife laughed and laughed.
Me too. Laugh, laugh, laugh. Good story.
Hi everyone, it's time for fun time.
Yay! I love fun time, especially the jokes. They make me laugh and laugh.
That's great. I listen over and over again, and I laugh and laugh.
Hey, why are you repeating your words?
It's fun. You can repeat the same word when something keeps happening.
Like when you keep repeating and repeating the same word.
That's right. There are so many examples of words that you can repeat. Say again.
Yes, many examples. More and more.
Oh, that's a good one. Hey, let's share some of those examples.
Okay, here's one. Some people talk and talk. They love talking.
That's me. Some people love to eat. They eat and eat and eat.
That's me. Right. My neighbor has a noisy dog. It barks and barks all night long.
Oh, that could be my dog. I hope not. Oh, wait. I have a problem. I've been thinking and thinking how to solve it.
I have a big test next week. I've been studying and studying.
Wow, there are so many examples of words that you can repeat. I could go on and on and on.
Sorry, but this fun time is getting longer and longer. We have to say goodbye.
All right, goodbye, everyone. Hope to see you again.
And again, and again, and again. Well, Esther, I really liked today's lesson because I like that it showed teamwork. The husband and the wife were a team, and together they got over some trouble.
That's right, because when you get married, your husband or your wife is your partner. You need to work together to face the challenges in life.
That's right. Because Finn McCool listened to his wife's good idea, he didn't have to get into a fight. Friends, make sure you listen to not just the friends who care about you, but people who love you. We hope that you have learned something from today's story.
I like the story also because Finn and his wife thought of a way Finn wouldn't need to get into a fight.
Yes, it's really important to know how to not have to fight. And you have to be smart to avoid fights, don't you?
Yes. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again tomorrow right here on
Let's Talk in English.
Bye.